Hi everyone, welcome to Live with Janome. I'm Ann Hine. I'm going to find us on Facebook. I've had a little bit of trouble this morning. I think I was logged out of my account. Now I'm back in. So I'm hoping I'm not just over on YouTube. So hold on, let's see if I can find us on the page. Yes, I did approve a login. Okay. I don't know why. Let me see if we're, oh, hi. Are you watching me on Facebook or on YouTube? Let me know. Just give me a yes or a no to, or put Facebook on there so I know where we are. Because I don't have it, it's not pulling up in my comments today. All right, let me see. I'm going to put the camera on. And all right, so we have some people out there. I'm not sure where you're watching from. I can't get it on my Facebook account here, so I don't know if I'm on Facebook right now or just on YouTube. So, because it's just not showing up. Let me see if I go. Nope. You know, sometimes it's just a pain in the neck. All right, let me try that. Ooh. One more thing I'm going to try, and then we'll get started. Well, I guess I'm on. All right, so just, oh, you're watching on YouTube. All right, so let me post to the sewing machine page and let them know where I'm at. There we go. Hang on here. There we go. And I'll post that. Okay, so back to this. Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. Sorry about the confusion here. I'm not sure what's happening. For some reason, Facebook had logged me out just as I was putting my video up, so I had to go log back in, and I'm not sure I'm back on Facebook or just on YouTube. So thank you for joining me and sticking with it for a little while here. I am Ann Hine, and I'm the embroidery software specialist for Janome America. And today we're talking about version 2. Janome USA just posted a free trial for consumers in the USA. And I think Canada too. I'm not sure. Usually we do it together, but it might be separate. So those of you who are in the USA can sign up for the if you go on our webpage, there's a link there. I think you can sign up. Or if you go to our Facebook page, let me put that up here. I think I have, is it this one? Oh, I had a Facebook thing. Hang on a second. Oh, there it is. So that's our Facebook page right here. So you can go there, and in the top under featured, at the top under featured, there's a little kind of flashy thing. You can select there and then go ahead and send in to get version 2. If you are, for the free trial, if you are using Junior 1.7, you can use the trial, or if you have full 1.7, you can use the trial to see what you think about that, okay? All right. Yeah, thank you all. Hopefully over on the classroom page, they're coming back over here. I don't know. I'll repost it anyways. Okay, so welcome to the software. Let me tell you little general things about the software. You can put the software, it's unlimited installs. So you can have it on multiple computers, and you do need to follow the procedure of opening your software key, which is usually at the top of your screen. It's a green, it's a little circle icon with a key in it. When you open that, you can log in and log out, or log in and activate your software. So, or log out and activate, something like that. So anyways, you want to make sure you close your software, find the key and open it, and log out. Then you can go to another computer, open the key, activate, and then start the software. So it makes it very nice. I just get used to doing that in between. I'm on two computers. Today I'm on my Mac, and then a lot of times I work just on my PC. So when I'm done on my Mac, I close, I log out, and then I can go over to my PC and work there. If you've already purchased the update to V2, when you and you're updating your 1.7, whether it's the full or the junior, it will leave two icons on your computer. You can run 1.7 and the 2.0 at the same time. If you're using the trial right now, typically when I design, I will save everything as a .draw file. And then I don't always save them as JEF files. But when you get done, before the trial ends, make sure you change your draw files as JEF files. So you'll have them to use in your software. You won't be able to open the version 2 draw files in a 1.7, and you won't be able to open them in anything else because it's proprietary to our software. Okay. And I think we're good. I see people saying hello, so welcome, welcome. Oh, Marty found me. Thank you, Marty. I might be seeing you in a few weeks, I think, out there at Super Stitch. I have an event at Super Stitch, and then I'll be at Luke's Sewing in November for 2 different times. 2 times for Super Stitch, and then 2 times over at Luke's Sewing in Ohio and Kentucky. So you can check me out there. All right, so let me turn on the software, and we will get going from there. If you have questions, I do have comments up over on the side here, and I can take a look at those. So let's open the software, and we can play a little bit here. And I don't know if you can see over this shoulder, somebody's sleeping. Posy. I don't know if Posy will put her head up. We'll see. All right, software we go. Here we go. And let me close that. And just open this, make sure we're on. There we go. Okay. So when you open your software, it opens like this. If you're on the 1.7, it opens the same way. There's some tools over here for entering the software. Anything you've opened recently will be in here. And then over on the side here are the videos. Now, the videos, there's a little triangle here. If per chance you don't see them, they might be closed. You can click that little arrow. These are great. These are brand new for the 2.0, and they're nice and short. Look over here. They're 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, things like that. So all the different tools are located there. So you'll find help there. You can also, as I mentioned, come to our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page. We're open 24/7, so you can pop your questions and comments in there. Somebody, myself or someone else, will be able to answer them. And we have your online help. If you click on help, you can open up either your help topics and do a search like that, or you can open up the printable manual. And there's the manual. What's nice is if you go to page 22 in the manual, and I'm not sure that's 63. If you go to page 22, it starts there with all the new things that have come in with, here they all are, with the new version 2.0. So you can, and they have nice links in here. So say you're looking at random stitches, there's a link right here that will take you to more information on random stitches, okay? So explore that so that you have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the software as you play along. And then, so that's everything here on the main page. So as I said, you can open things right here. This is a new page. This would open your into your file system. Now I'm on a Mac, it's a little different, but it would open your File Explorer. And I don't normally go this way to look at my designs because when I open designs in here, let me see, in one of these, that's in here, it doesn't always open the design for me to see it. And I can only see one at a time. So when I click on it, I can see it right there. So I don't always use the create the open folder thing there, whether I do file open or the open from the top. Whoops, I did not want to do that. There we go. Let's go back here. I like to use the browse function because when I go into browse and I open something up, this is my USB stick, I can see all my designs. I can also, when I open up a folder, so let me come down here and open my embroidery category 1. If I want to take one of these, I can open it and look at everything in there. But maybe this one here, I would like to keep in my favorites. So I can right click on it and add Christmas to favorites. And then I can go up here to favorites and there are my quick folders right there. Okay. Now they don't move they're still in the same place in your computer. They're just easy access right here. So that's one thing I like to do. I like to have my folders very handy. Also, you'll notice under their devices, if you have a USB stick or two plugged in, you will see your USB stick. There's my USB stick right there. If you're connected wirelessly to your 15,000, your CM17, or your S9, it will show up in this list as well. And you can access the designs you've saved into the machine and any design that you have plugged into your machine with a USB stick. So it's like the whole world is open to you. So that's why I like to use the browse function. So that's one way to, those are two ways to do things. The other thing is you can go and use your File Explorer or your Finder, because I'm in Mac, this is my Finder. You could come in here to your Finder or your File Explorer, and you could click on a design and drag it over here like this, and it'll open. Now this is a graphic, so it's going to give me the choices to open a graphic. And here I can do it as a backdrop. I can click here and it'll digitize to stitches for me. I could make a cross stitch, I could do photo stitch, I could do paint stitch, and I could do sketch. Now paint stitch is my favorite and so is sketch, but I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller today as we go through this, and I'm gonna click OK. And then it'll pop up here on the screen. There it is, all ready to go. Now I have the opportunity, if I click on my sequence over here, my properties opens up and I can change, whoops, let me get that open again. I can change my palette to a different palette if I want. I can change how many colors this design is. I can do other things as well. So I will be going over paint stitch in a whole other lesson, paint stitch and sketch, but just quickly, now we can resize this on the screen of our machine, our software, which I love. We can also edit our design with edit nodes and crop it this way. We can add nodes and reshape it however we like. So that's kind of nice. I really like that. Let's just kind of pull this in. So you can make really interesting things with your piece. Well, I got to put that corner back up there. That is not going to work. Here we go. All right, so you can do a lot of things like that. Before we couldn't do that, so that's nice. So that's just a quick look at paint stitch. Also, so I'm going to close that. Also, when you come over here and you open your File Explorer or your Finder, if you have a draw file, it'll open that up. If you have, let me go to my embroidery, and I'm going to open up something here. Let's see if that'll open. And I just drag it over. It's a JEF file. It opens right there. How easy is that, right? I love that. I love that. So these things have really, I've really enjoyed, we've had it like this before, but we forget to use it. Okay, oops. I don't know why that's opening. Let me close that. No. Close that. There we go. There we go. Okay, back to this one. I have both on here, and it dragged it into the other one as well. All right, so that is how you can bring things in. I want to go back to our welcome page. I'm going to delete this here, and I'm going to go back to the welcome page because I want to show you how to set up your default hoop. I work with a CM17, so this box right here, I can choose my machine brand. I can pick out my model over here, and then I can pick the hoop that I want to open all the time. So it'll always open with my largest hoop. All right, so that makes it easy. I'll show you on the page where you can change that. This right here, this is where you can choose your embroidery category, which is very important. This sets the tension, the density of your design. So you can choose from any of these. I like to use normal. That's the most used. If I was working with a t-shirt or a knit, I might pick smooth or normal light with that. And then I like my white background, so I just pick white. If you pick any of these are all the same density in this category. Anything in this category is the same density, and there's a t-shirt knit in here. It just gives you a textured background, and you can always right-click up in here, left-click up in here, and change the color of the background if you wish. I like a nice white background. I think it works well with demoing, okay? So those are those two. That's really important from the first page. The other thing is if you wanted to work in inches rather than metric, if you go up under tools and options on a PC, or if you're on a Mac, you would go under artistic and preferences, you would get this window here. So if on a PC, you're going to go to tools and options, and then on a Mac, you're going to go under artistic and preferences. Right down here, yours will say, if you just opened it, it'll say 2 imperial. That means you want to go 2 inches, so you would select it. That's what I've done, and now if I want to go back to metric, I would click here. But you don't have to switch back and forth. If you have a metric number and you're working in inches, like I like my stitch length at 2.5, I will put in the length box 2.5 mm for metric, and it'll convert it, auto convert for me. So it auto converts both ways. So if you have if you're in metric and I give you an inch number, you can put the inches in. Maybe a square is 2.0, 2 inches. You can put 2.0 in, and it'll auto convert it to metric for you. Okay, so that's really important to work there. Now, the other thing I want to talk about before I leave this is the palette order right here. And then I'm going to talk about the color manager. All the color brands that Janome has are in the software are located right here. And if you don't see yours, sometimes they're under a different name. And then if you don't see it, you can always post to the page, and I can talk with the developer. We add them when we can. And the thing is, you see mine are not in alphabetical order. These are the ones I want visible, all right? And then down here, I have some that I want visible. So maybe I want to bring this one up and put it close to the top. It doesn't matter, but maybe I want to move it maybe up in here. I can click and drag them in. My Janome is my default, so whenever I'm creating, it'll go to default. Unless you're creating new and you haven't done anything, it'll go to RGB, the red, green, blue. And then those are the exact colors, so you could change those to your color brand. So make sure you come in here and pick whatever your default's going to be and any of your other ones and bring them near the top, and I'll show you where they show up when we go into working with the software. All right, so let's say, okay, so we talked about opening graphics, right? So all you have to do is either drag it on over, choose what you want to do with it, And then depending on which one it is, it'll either directly bring it right to stitches, or it'll give you another option box with things to choose from. And I'll cover those as we go along. I just don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I want to kind of show you a lot of things, kind of, bits and pieces here, so it'll get you playing around, and you can always look at the tutorials on the side. So this is the Jeff file right here, and I'm just going to double click on it to open it, or single click to open it. As you can see right up here, my CM17 is there. It opened my big hoop. I'm just going to go down here because I would like to change that. I'm going to click right here. And when I click there, I get the hoop window. I just want to move it to the square hoop. And then I want to show you, because I picked a hoop, the hoop icon now is lit up over here. It gives me the hoop rotation. So this one, if I could rotate it a little bit like that, or 45, whichever, if you have a rectangular hoop. So you have rotation there. And then you have an icon over here. This is a dual icon. The top of it will give you that hoop window again. And the bottom, if you did plus, it'll add a hoop for multi-hooping. All right. Now, if you're looking for more videos that I've done with Janome, you can find them on the Janome Sewing Machines page. If you just search my name, you'll find my videos. They're on the Janome YouTube channel, which you're on right now. And I have started to post some over to, I'm organizing them over on my own under my name, so you'll find some over there. Those are the older ones, but there's some over there. All right, so if you've used your hoop icon, it's lit up here. You need to click select so you can get all the other tools available. So if I had this open and I went back up here, you can see I only have a few options, okay? If I click select and turn off my hoop, I have all the options. These are the options for transferring or exporting, not saving. These really are exporting. If you want to save, go to File, Save As, and put it in your computer. Let's do this, fit to hoop. This is brand new. Boom, like that. One click, and I am now in as large as the hoop will go. And this has a little outline around it. That's why it went that big. Now, you have to look at your pieces because this does have some little parts, especially I'm going to look at this part down here. Well, and you can see right along here, this will need some work. But we're going to work on this part right here. It's not very smooth. And when I select it, I can look over here. I can't use my edit nodes or anything because it's raw file. So I need to convert it to turn it to stitches, and then I can decide what I want to do with it from there. If you select something and everything selects, you want to right click and then you'll see ungroup in here. All right, and then you can ungroup it and then select here. Sometimes you have to use break apart and that'll show up in there. So I'm going to convert just this one part because I don't want to, maybe I don't need to convert the whole thing. So I'm going to convert it to curves. And now in my properties, I have all the other options available to me. But you know what? I want to fix those bumpy parts. So I'm going to go to my edit nodes. When I go to edit nodes, look at all those nodes. Now in the past, I would click on each one and delete them. But now I have a new tool. I can select a group of them and I get a new window at the top here. And I can click on smooth nodes and it smooths those out. So I can click on these up here and smooth them out. Maybe I want to do these two. Let's see if they'll smooth those for me. Maybe I need to just remove one of those with selecting and delete. Same thing over here. Let's just look at these for a minute. We'll do these ones here and then smooth nodes. And let's click off of that so you can turn off the nodes. See how nicely it smoothed that out for me? Very easily. So if you want to smooth your nodes, once you have something selected and you go to edit nodes, you can click and drag and delete those nodes easily. Now that's a new feature, and that'll make editing, when you bring in a graphic and you convert the whole thing to stitches, it'll give you easier ways to move those nodes and fix those nodes. Because there's a lot when you convert a graphic to stitches. All right, the other thing that was under here, and I'm just going to move this to show you. I'll move it down like that. All right, up here under the CM17, you have center to hoop. So you can select it and recenter it. That's very handy. Okay, now let's talk about colors, because we talked about the palette. And, you know, if you're a 1.7 user, our palette used to be over on the side here where the properties is. You just have properties here now. And you have your used color box down here where you can change colors. So if I want to change the color of this particular spot, I select it. It's a fill color. I'm going to left click on the bucket. And then I can do it with the color wheel, or I can look at swatches right there. And it's set at my default, which is Janome. And then I can use the drop down here and I can change it to anything else. If maybe I want to use a marathon color for that. And then once I change it, let's find a marathon color I like. I'm going to go down here and use this color here. If I knew the color number, I could actually put it in here. Sometimes we know the color numbers. And then I'm just going to click on the box and it changed it to that color. That was pretty easy right there. Now say I want to change the whole thing to the brand that I use. All right. Now, typically I do a lot with Janome, but I have other brands of thread. So I may want to put this all in a different brand. I'm going to use the color manager on the left. And right down here, I can choose a palette. All those palettes that I had, I can choose from here. So maybe I want to go to Isochord. I'm going to click there and I can click here. And I could change, the intensity of those colors by moving the little bar on this side. Click there, turn it off by clicking up there. And now all of these colors, if I hover over them, those are all Isochord with one click. Also under there, under your color manager, you have some harmonies and stuff. Let me pull up the whole thing. You can play with the harmonies, and that changes based on monochromatic or complementary, things like that. You can change those that way as well. So it's a lot of creativity. But individual colors, you can select over here and then left click on that part. I hope I said left click earlier. Left click on there, change the color. Maybe I want to go back to a Janome or not. The RGB is up there, Janome, and then I like that orange Janome. There we go. So when I click off and I hover, there's Janome. So that's how you use the color manager and the used color box. I'm finding it very handy. Let me know what you think as you get more comfortable with it. So let me show you some things. We're almost done, but I want to show you a couple things that you might want to be doing on your software. So let's open up a new page. Let's say I want to create something myself. I want to draw it. We have a digitize outline shape tool here with different ways to draw. Now the freehand shape one is more like a pencil. You can do this kind of things. I am not an artist. Let me just delete that for a minute. Hit delete on here. So the freehand shape, if I wanted to, it reminds me of free motion quilting. So there we go. There's a shape of my flower. If I wanted to put a inside part, I could do that. And it didn't fill because right here, these are not connected. So if I go to edit nodes and I bring my node on top and then I select it, hang on a minute, I just want to select these two. And join nodes. And then I want to say on remove overlaps, never remove overlaps. And over here, let me find the other one because I have things in the way. Oh, I know, it joined it to the page. That's what it did. So we'll undo that. But anyway, so you can play with the shapes that way. I'll show you what I like. I like using the outline shape tool with nodes. I could bring in a graphic and I could trace around it using my nodes this way. Now, the Digitize Outline Shape tool is defaulted at a left click for your curves. So you can see all these are curves. And then if you touch Shift and click, you'll get lines. Like that. Okay. If you want to change that, it is under preferences where we went to in the beginning. But just so you know, when you try it the first time, it is left click for curves and then Shift and left click to get your straight lines. Now, if you want lines that are really, really straight, let's get a new page here. You want to go up under your view, and there's a lot of things under view to look at. You guys probably have your grid on, so you can turn your grid on and off here. There's the shortcut for that. And then you can also turn on under view the snap. Now, if you're using snap, I'm going to zoom way in. If I'm using my drawing tool and I'm using snap, it will align it right on the lines. Okay, so if I'm going to draw something that goes across like this, I want to turn on snap, and then I'm going to get to the end. I'm going to right click and shape. If I didn't have that turned on, let's turn it off. And I drew a line. It's not connecting anywhere. And maybe I can draw it straight, maybe not. Maybe I'll be off a little bit. Maybe it'll move a little bit. And then this line, when you look at it close, it really isn't a straight line like this one is. It may have some inconsistencies in it. Let me take my grid away. Oops, let's take that tool away. Always go back to, so it looks like it's straight, but sometimes at the end it has extra stitches. And then it might have a little wobble in the center. So that's why I like, if I'm doing straight lines, I like to use that. So the question about the CM17, you have to check with the dealer. And I am in the United States, so I don't know. I don't know globally what the price is, and you really. The MSRP, I think, is around 20, but you would have to check with your dealer and see what they're offering. Or if you're at a quilt show or one of the shows, you can pop in the Janome booth there and check out what the pricing is going. But I always recommend that you check with your local dealer, whether you're in the United States or globally with us. Always check with your Janome representative and purchase through them, because they're going to give you all that support you need for your machine, your software, and all your other Janome accessories. So it's important to use your local Janome dealer. And if you can't find one, you can go to the webpage for your country, and there's a dealer search, and you'll be able to find it that way as well. Let me think. Oh, one other thing before we go, maybe two things. If you want to play with our shapes tool, you can click on a shape and then you left click and drag, and it'll give you a shape. You can select that. You can make it larger. If you wanted to change the nodes on it, you'll notice if you just click nodes, it only gives you the outer and the inner moving node on there. If you want to have nodes, come over here. Oops, let's see here. Let me turn off my node thing. There we go. You want to send it to right click, convert to curves. Then it will give you nodes on here that you can play with. Okay, we can make a little smiley face. There we go. When you have filled items over here in your properties, right here you have patterns. So you can change the pattern in there, and then you can change all of these items here. Janome, even though it presets it with your embroidery category, you still have final say in everything that's there. Under this tab here, you'll find other fills up here. And we'll cover those. Making an applique, we'll work on that. Making it a satin stitch. Maybe you wanted a net fill for a knockdown stitch, okay? There's a row fill. You can use decorative stitches for the row fill. Let's look at applique. Applique, you decide how you want to cut your fabric, and we'll do a lesson on that. I'm going to do it during embroidery, and I would like satin stitch on the outside. This is going, and then I can change my satin stitch down here to whatever width I want. This gives us everything. I'm going to open up here, and this will give me my placement, my tack down, and my finishing. And right here is slow redraw. Always take a look there. This is going to stitch. In your machine, it'll show 2 colors. It's going to stitch around, and when it gets to the end here, it's going to do a little jump out. That's because it stops. It doesn't actually leave a thread here. It stops after that first one because that's the placement, and you would put your fabric down. It's going to continue on, and it'll jump out again. It's just a visual in here, and then it'll start your satin stitch. Okay, so not to worry about that. You can play with that quite a bit. All right, and then, there's lettering too. So you can type many, many things. All right, so I am going to put the camera back on. Actually, let me just get a new page here. Let me go in here and show you the lettering really quick. When you click on the lettering, you have, these are the built-in fonts, all right? And then we also have whatever fonts are located in your computer. These are the TrueType fonts. You can install more TrueType fonts to your computer and access them over here. Like I have this chalkboard one that came from somewhere else. There's some other ones in here that are from other places. But what you can do is, this is wherever you put your cursor is where it's going to start your word. You can always move it. Up here in the text box, you can start typing. And then if you want to change the font, just click in here, left click again, and then use your mouse wheel, and you can see the changes. I'm actually going to make this bigger so you can see it. Oops, here we go. There we go. And go back to my text. There we go. So you can test out all the different ones. Maybe I'm going to go this way. And when I find the one I want, I can just select it, and there it is. And I spelled that wrong. Do you see that? If I go back to text, I can come in here, I can use my arrow key, and I can go back and delete that and correct my spelling. Very, very easy and fun. All right, I'm going to look to see if there's any questions I missed from back here. I don't think so. I'm going to put the camera back on. I'm going to wait for just a moment to see if anybody has any comments for me, and I can take care of those at this point. If not, I'll come back and take care of them. I am going to repost this to the Janome Sewing Machine page because I'm not sure why it didn't post there in the beginning, or maybe it's there now. I don't know. Let me think what else. But what I want to do is challenge you. Open your software and play with it. Don't get frustrated. If you're having trouble or can't find something, you can use the printable manual at the top if you want. It can stay open off to the side of your computer screen so you don't have to open and close it. That's very nice. Or post to our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page and join us over there. Any question, I don't think any of them are dumb. Everybody can learn something from someone. And even if you post a question that's been asked a zillion times, we'll answer it because there's always people coming and going. We have over 14,000 members from all over the world, so we're all not on there all the time, but pretty close to. Some of us are always there. All right, everyone. I will be back next week with another lesson. I think I'm going to jump into some fun stuff, maybe paint, stitch, and sketch. and a little bit of something else. I don't know what I wrote down on my little thing, but I'll go back and figure that out. So join me again next week. Check out my other videos on right here on this YouTube channel with Janome Sewing Machines YouTube channel. Just search my name, you'll find my videos. I did several starter videos with V2 already when it came out early September for us. All right, everyone, I'm going to let you go. Have a great day today. And as I said, open your software and start playing. That's how you're going to learn it. And that's how you're going to have fun. All right. See you all later.